I've never really liked singing the Star Spangled Banner. I recently attended a Major League Baseball game, and at the beginning of the game, as the recorded band music started playing the national anthem, everybody rose. Most removed their hats, and many put their hands over their hearts as the singing began. I stood as well, but I didn't sing. I really don't favor war-themed songs written before I was born in general. And similarly, I don't really like singing any songs that were written before my time, especially hymns. Perhaps this is the root of my problem in the ballpark. My mother used to chide me relentlessly for not singing in church, and the more she pestered me, the less inclined I was to try and figure out the words and melody to Salve Regina or Great is Thy Faithfulness. This could very well be the reason why I didn't feel inclined to sing Or the Ramparts We Watched. Honestly, I'm not completely sure I know what a rampart is, if I'm being honest. I'll also admit that the War of 1812 is one of the lesser conflicts that I was never really interested in studying in the first place. Although, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's not like I can't sing, and I do like that line, though. I like to think we live in the home of the brave, though the irony of using a sometimes offensive term that used to commonly refer to Native American warriors is not lost on me. Perhaps these types of mental meanderings are why I have a hard time just singing a simple song. So am I a bad citizen for admitting that I don't care for the national anthem? What makes a good citizen? Seriously, what does it mean to be a good U.S. citizen? Is Colin Kaepernick a bad citizen because he publicly protested institutional policies and procedures that, from his perspective, were harmful to American citizens like himself? Some people think so. I'm honest about my taxes. I keep myself informed about political issues that affect me and my neighbors. I vote in local, state, and national elections. I contact my government representatives when I become aware of things I think that need to be fixed. I usually obey the laws of the land, and I generally treat other people the way I want to be treated. And I have, on occasion, exercised my right to peacefully protest issues that I believe negatively impact me, my children, my grandchildren, and members of vulnerable populations. Would you consider me a good citizen? The reason I ask is because of the case that is used to help provide a context for part one of the course. This course addresses concepts surrounding the design and use of formal assessments. I want to connect the introduction to formal assessments by profiling a formal assessment that is not part of life inside school. I want you to consider a high-stakes formal assessment outside school. An example of this might be the written portion of a driver's license test. The stakes for not passing such a formal assessment can be pretty high, though not as high as the formal assessment you are going to analyze for this introduction to the course. Every day, hundreds of immigrants apply to become naturalized citizens of the United States. And as part of the process for becoming a citizen, applicants must pass two formal exams, an English test and a civics test. After reviewing the case materials, you are asked to consider what you think is the purpose of each exam. You're also asked to consider whether or not you believe performance on these tests might predict the degree to which applicants would likely be good U.S. citizens. Which begs the question asked earlier, what is a good U.S. citizen? What's a bad one? Would a low score on either test indicate a higher likelihood of the applicant being a bad citizen? And what do these two tests actually measure? Are they important? Are they well written? What is the likelihood that a test taker could perform well on the test but not end up being a good citizen, or vice versa? In this first part of the course, you are expected to learn specific skills related to assessments in general and what it means to, as the Virginia Department of Education regulations for teachers expect, quote, create, select, and implement valid and reliable classroom-based assessments of student learning. You will learn skills associated with this overall goal by reflecting on the U.S. citizenship test case, reading 4 chapters in the course text. Those are chapters 1, 3, 4, and 5. Reviewing specific notes prepared to help direct your attention to the salient information about each objective. Completing some practice over the objectives for part 1. And then successfully passing the course exam for part 1. This assessment will follow all the rules of effective assessment, providing you with an opportunity to demonstrate that you learned what I intended for you to learn, which are some very valuable and useful teaching skills.